Hello and welcome to part number 4 of how to ruin a half decent Lego display. Now, in the last upload, we need to get this bit sorted as the paint dries. Now, in everything else, we've done that side, everything's been blue. Yes, we'll talk about the yellow at a later date, and then we've got the green. But I have cheated a bit because I have started what is going to be a Lego brick wall behind me, but I don't know whether we need yellow. I don't think we're going to do it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use those 3 colours and then have a little bit of yellow in. It would look really nice over there, but what I'm worried about is when the yellow gets a little bit lower, would actually lose the minifigure against the brick, and then you wouldn't see it, because obviously a lot of the figures are yellow, because I wanted to find a minifigure yellow. So we might not put the yellow on the back, but we might make that yellow a little bit darker just over there. But what we have got to do, so I've cheated a little bit because these sets have moved, is these have to move. So I need to move the Jazz Club, I need to move the pool, I need to start putting the bricks on and then just figuring it out. I might leave a couple white just to think about, do I do 1 or 2 of them yellow a little bit higher up if I get a darker yellow for that. This is going to be an ongoing project for ages. This will not be finished in this upload because it's just taking far too long to dry, so I can just do this off camera, because you're going to be looking at that back wall as I do all the unboxing videos anyway, so it's not going to be too bad. So that bit is there or thereabouts done. The sets and everything are in there. So what we need to do is we need to get the Jazz Club and the pool moved, but it is probably one of the most dangerous moves and the most dangerous wall to paint, because the hatch is direct. It's there, so that's where it is. So I will end up falling down, more than likely, the loft ladders. But if I plonk you just there, and we'll see what that looks like, and then figure out exactly how much of this we need to move, how much is going to break. Okay, I did move 1 or 2 boxes, so hopefully nothing is going to smash. But it's a really nice. It is a really nice set, that one, and I think the colours are quite nice against the green there. I'll keep you facing that way. And then the other one, obviously, we have the Jazz. So those 2, without me falling down and killing myself, are there. So sorry for the disappointment. We will get this done. Like I said, I'll get a little bit of colour on, and then we'll get this bit tidy. We'll get another little bit of colour on as some of them start to dry, and I'll get the other bit tidy, and then I'll see what I can just tidy up on this back wall before this finishes, and then we'll be done. But I'm only going to go about as high as the green table anyway, so I'm only going to come to that low. I've got to move the boxes, and then we've got to come down. At one point I did a couple of test bits. I was umming and ahhing whether to do like a full strip all the way down. I thought, no, that just looked rubbish. So I'm just going to go for a complete mix. Obviously the blue has just gone on, that's why it's darker, but it will dry much more vibrant, so that'll be nice. The green's nice, and the orange is, well, it's the orange. So hopefully it should go nicely against the white roof, and it doesn't make the room too dark, and it shouldn't be too dark on the camera either once all the white bricks have gone. But we will get to it, and I'll update you when some more of this bit here has been done. Right, this bit is done roughly, because this is actually going to be our next upload project, where we actually end up tiling it all and doing everything, all the bits and pieces. But one thing I'm doing here is putting train tracks across, sorting out the T-Rex, because obviously you can see him through the gates, which is quite cool. The minifigure's still in his mouth, but I thought with the angle of that coaster, keeping it like that, you can get some nice photos of him just like this. But what it's done, it has actually created this cheese wedge, which is what we didn't have before. So obviously I'll base plate it and whatever else, but it does allow me, because I put this one at an angle instead of straight this time, it has allowed me to get another base plate down on that bit. So this will be touched and sorted out after this goes live. So you guys can now let me know what you think I should do with this bit, this V. Do I do a run of shops? Do I have some like dino merch and things like that in there? Also I can push the waterfall back where the shop is and bring the shop in front, but we'll mess around that at a later date. Now over to this side, this is the next thing that I need to think of. I just need to clear the space on here, get that bit on, and then get the next couple of bits of paint on, and then we are done and finished, and I can lock this up, and then hopefully it'll all be dry before I come back from Billund, which will be nice and exciting. Hence why I am rushing to try and get this done. I want this table completely there or thereabouts ready to be clear, because I can just put that straight back on, and then we'll be good to go. Now, if the Ghostbuster Firehouse stays where it is, which I think looks really nice there, because we can have the Ecto-1 coming out, going onto the road, and going to the haunted house section, because that is a tribute / Easter egg to the Lego house, because that's what they do at the Lego house, then makes this a little bit of an issue. But I'll figure that out now. I'll pull them out, I'll put them in some places. I just want to get this tidy nice and quick. Right, that is there for now. So it'll either stay there and we can build around with the city, put some little shops and things around it and so on and so forth, or I might have a mess around when I start to attack the Jurassic Park area and see if I can get it at the back, move the waterfall over and have the T-Rex facing a slightly different way, and then the land actually has more than just one ride, so we can actually make it as its own completely separate land, where it's got the roller coaster in, it's got the carousel in, and then we've got all the theming of the T-Rex and the waterfall. Because obviously you can have it like a small dino type ride. Because they did have something like that, if I remember rightly, in the Jurassic World film, didn't they? They had more for teeny tiny ones as well. So we could get away potentially with doing it both, and then it frees up a massive amount of space, because this area is huge, and it kind of doesn't make sense just having the one big dino in there. But I reckon I could potentially mess around with that, but that will be done when I get to do that. Right, moving on to this side. Cantina is just the cantina will just stay as is. What I'm gonna try and do is get this sort of tucked in there, for example, so we've got a nice walkway through. That works nice. And then if I can do kind of the same with this apocalypse bird, I just want it all on this one table. So if I can bring this all the way over, hopefully that's perfect. So we've got that sort of shape coming round. You can get a nice walkway round. We can come through, come round the bar, all of that will be tiled. Now that bit can go in. So if the first bit of the video is a little bit juddery, I won't know until I watch it back. Then I know not to use that mode, period. We need this. We have this as like a little shop building thing. Does it just get broken down for parts? It can stay there for now, but we have got, what's that, base plate and a bit of space, because if we got this, that's a full 32 by 32, yeah, so we can get another building in. So we had one like that, for example. We've got two paths that can go down either way, but the problem is that won't go in that gap. I don't think it would look right there either. So we'll work on that. Right, in a twist that I did not even see coming, I've decided to paint some of the yellow on, because I want to see what it looks like when it dries. However, that will not be dry until I get back from Billund, because it takes so long to dry and it's super cold. This is the colour it goes on. It goes on like a very weird sort of whitey colour, and then obviously you can see it will dry a nice yellow. So potentially it might make the other colours pop, because I think maybe now a darker yellow might not work on there. So we'll have to see what that looks like when it dries. I have absolutely no idea if it's going to work, but I'm going to wait until it all dries and I'll finish the rest off. And we're back just like that from Billund. Lots happened since landing. Royal Rumble live with J Toy Collections UK and everybody else, and it's just been mental. But this is the first time of me opening up this hatch and looking at this. So this is now dry. It hadn't dried obviously previous, and we will just keep going with it. I think what we're going to do, I'm just going to add in a little bit more colour and just leave it be, and then see if it grows on me, see what it looks like actually with the videos in the background. I'm not even going to blend it in, I don't think. I think I'm just going to keep it white. It actually is really bright and vibrant. It's not too dark. Not sure, I said this before I left, I think the yellow's okay. I think, because you gotta remember, if we put a minifigure yellow in that, would it be too dark? And does it have that right mix of palette? That makes sense? It is what it is, isn't it? But what we'll do is we'll carry on. All I've got to do really is just get the rest of those bricks done in just random colours up at the top. Do the same thing on that colour. I've put a towel over the boxes so there'll be no splatter. So that would be the colour with instead. It'll be that sort of colour. You can see it's really difficult to stretch because don't forget, I am standing over the hatch. I don't particularly want to fall down and break my neck, but I will come down the 3 bricks. Obviously that's just a random size modular, so that's what it'll look like behind. And then over a period of time, if I think about blending it all in and touching it all in, I will do, but I'm not too sure if the white gaps make it look brighter than what it actually is, because obviously that orange over that side, that works really well. That's dried nicely, and there's a little bit of touching up to do. Don't forget it's on brickwork and it's just been a bit messy, but the green's done all right. Yes, that corner will need to be sorted out, which we will continue with. And we have all of this to do. I completely forgot how messy it was. So I will quickly change, put on my fancy white painting hoodie, as I'm eyeballing all of this mess, thinking, oh dear, why? Now obviously this is part 4. Part 1, 2, 3 has actually already been uploaded from me doing this. Part 3 actually goes live tonight. I've just got that scheduled. So you've got loads and loads of videos from Billand to come. That was an amazing thing. There will be obviously 1 or 2 videos of that uploaded before this, because I've got to put all of this together. It's just joys of editing, so it is what it is. But we'll stick to the topic of this. Bricks to be painted, stuff to be moved, lots and lots of different bits and pieces to do. So we'll just crack on and see exactly what happens. Luckily I've still got all the paintbrushes up here. Ideally I need 4 paintbrushes and I've only got 3, so that's going to be a right pig to do. Maybe I just don't add any more yellow in because I'm lazy. We'll see, we'll figure it out. So the next thing you're going to see is this with a little bit more paint on. Right, that's a bit of progress. How I have not yet fallen down these ladders, I don't know. I keep tripping up over, there's Pumpkin, hello you, and I keep tripping over these bits, so she's just sort of advising me on not to fall over. Now all I've got to do is add probably a little bit more yellow across the bottom on that bit. Everything else on that side is done. I've got to climb up and just get the last couple in. I'm just trying to reach over. I'm doing my very best not to fall, but I think we will leave it sort of it's almost like a wacky funhouse type colour. It reminds me of a very old show, so it's a bit of a weird one. But like I said, if it starts to annoy me or it doesn't look quite right when I do the videos, I will get a much smaller paintbrush and tie it all in. But that side is nice and vibrant, but it seems a little bit darker on that side. I don't think it's to do with the lighting, it's just because I think we've left a little bit of white. But that side, it would have looked unfinished, whereas this side it looks like it's almost always under construction, obviously as it's supposed to be. But we will see what we can do with the rest of it. So all I've got to do is add a little bit of yellow in, and then I'll update you on the rest of it. And then all of this has to go back, so all of this stuff that's on the table will need to go up and against, obviously not against the wall, but up across the top. I do now need to go and clean one of the paintbrushes because I've added a lot of all the other colours. So I'm thinking a bit of yellow up there, add a little bit more colour there, a bit of yellow, and then obviously everything across the bottom, that'd just be yellow where it's missing. And there's only 3 or 4 bricks on that side to do. So there's not much to do. And then once it's dried fully and a week or 2 have passed, we will figure it out. So yeah. It's only because I've got actually space to add in another table going across here. So there's a table there that's actually built, and I'm adding on another section or extending a section, because we're going to do like an 80s, or now it might just be a throwback section over there. But I might quite tempted to try and add on like hotels and accommodation, but again, different time, different uploads. Stick with the paint before we actually have to start moving everything. So that fan's got to go, the Joker Man has got to go. The Harry Potter bits and pieces with the alley itself have got ideas to go underneath the table, behind the table, so there's space for another table there. That'll be done in a completely different upload as well. And then excuse me, all of this stuff needs to be off and put back. Like that's the top of the Ninjago bit, which I've not ever been able to put on because I was missing the internals of one of the bags, and I rang up customer services and they just sent me down the exact same thing again, so I kind of gave up with that. So that does need a full repair and a rebuild. We've also got I've got to make a pile of boxes of things that need to be built for unboxing videos and that kind of thing. This will all be done within this video. It won't take long. It will be much more snappy once I go quiet. And then if I can, at the end of the video, we'll push back the superhero land. If not, I can just do that off camera, so it's good to go for the next for the next few uploads. But I do quite like the fact that that is almost completely dry. There is one or two little dark patches on there still, but it is still rather fresh and rather cold. But I appreciate everybody's feedback in part number 1. Like I said, part 3 goes live this evening, and part 2 went live last night. So this will be done before I see what you guys and goes right for part 3. But we're getting there. We're coming along. There's lots still to do, but I think we've made a good progress. Right, I'll finish with the painting and then we'll get this all tidied up. Right, that is the rough and ready look done. I've left a couple of bricks actually white as well, so I think it looks okay. We'll have to see what it looks like with on the camera. The main thing is it is super bright, but once we've got the sets and everything in front of it, we'll just have to see if it works or not, and then if it needs to be added in, it can be done at a later time. It's not an urgent thing anyway, because that green unit doesn't actually have any sets on that we're going to be using, because I haven't bought them yet, because that's going to be where the blue roller coaster is going to go, and a couple of other little bits and pieces. And if I do end up putting that table there to connect it, it doesn't matter, it's not going to affect it. I can still paint. The only issue will be over by the sort of Marvel DC kind of area, but it'll work, or we'll make it work, shall we say, with regards to what colours need to be added. Now, I need to put these back, so that needs to go back, that needs to go back, that needs to go somewhere. Again, that'll probably actually have to go back up on that green bit. It's just little bits and pieces like that, and I can start stockpiling some sets that were under the tables or elsewhere, ready to be built for the unboxing videos, and then we can then start concentrating on area updates with regards to what it is. So we have got currently, we've got the Marvel DC, so that's our superhero section. We've got the Jurassic Park section, horror zone, we've got a street, and then we've got to make a diorama with the Ghostbuster car shooting down. That will need its own video for a home. This will need its own video for a mini land. This is our eateries and cafes, but if I do add in a accommodation which would mimic the Legoland Holiday Village, this is now key. So I've gone from going, well, this was a bit of a nightmare, I'm not 100% sure what to do with it, to it being extremely important. So I might keep that half there, and then the other half can actually go in the centre of the table, and that can be used as our reception and the actual main eatery, because they do have that in the one in Germany and the one in Billund, and they've got lots of accommodation, all pirate themes within the hotels and things. So that is actually now quite a key thing to go with the new A-frame as and when that happens, and the treehouse will obviously go with that. So I've just got to think of what display to make. I've got an idea in my head, again, save that for a different video, but we'll start with just little bits and pieces like this. So if I plonk you up and over on there, so hopefully that'll be all right. It's just things like this which have kind of got damaged, which shouldn't have done, but I couldn't really rest them anywhere because I didn't want them to get wet with the paint. But what I can do is hopefully just slide them up on the shelf and prop them over, and then I can just start adding the rest of the Ninjago bits and pieces. So like that, for example, that can just go there, and then obviously it's supposed to go up on top, but I can't do that at the moment, which is a bit annoying. But again, with this train track, I can put the train track with the Jurassic Park section, so that'll be ready to go for that next update. I've got a bit of an idea in my head with regards to how we can make that as like a pure carnage disaster zone, which means obviously that Ferris wheel won't be going in, but it's little bits like this. So I've got, probably more than likely, I'm going to have like a bin of pieces, because I'm not sold or 100% sure on absolutely everything being used. So we've got little figures that I will need to find out. So we've got the penguin, we've got like a custom Robocop, they'll have to go somewhere. With regards to the cars, that's going to be another thing. I don't know whether just to make a car park up somewhere, or just, because I really do like the vehicles, but just not 100% sure where they can go. Yes, so there is bits and pieces to sort out and go from this hotel. There's actually more minifigures on there than I thought there was, which is not ideal, but we will get through that. So I think what I do is I do that off camera, because I actually, again, have no idea how long this video is, because this has actually gone over like a week and a half just to do part number 4. But again, that's what that looks like. That's what you will be seeing from a distance. It's supposed to be nice and bright and colourful. Hopefully it's done that trick. It might look like somebody sneezed on the wall maybe, but I think I could get away with it being like that, and that way I don't have to spend any more time in it. And then we've done the orange. That's the main wall that you're going to be seeing like that with regards to the unboxing videos and things. And then obviously we go down into the green. But I will get the paint away, and then I'll start moving some of these sets. Obviously I'll film myself moving them onto that bit, because these are the bits that I'm more than likely going to drop. And I think we'll just end the video there, and then I will sort out the sort of superhero section off camera, because I don't particularly, obviously nobody does want to get any paint on any of the Lego sets, but the actual open paint tubs are exactly where this needs to go at the moment. So let me get that moved, and then we'll get this moved. Alright, paint has been moved. I remember I am still I'm only balancing on one leg currently, because my other leg is dangling over that hatch. So if I do go falling down, then thank you for all of the memories. Right, can I tip? Do not want to drop this. Now, I'm not going to put everything back, ooh my days, properly. I'm just going to put it over on the table, because I need the white table more than anything else, because I have got some sets that I want to build up, and obviously I need to do the unboxing stuff, and I can't do that with them there. But because the table's not actually touching the wall, that can live there happily, and we are all good. Now this one also, I think, it's looking a little bit wobbly to me, can up at the roof, go over just there for now. Oh, that will be living there. We know that the taxi goes there, that goes in front of that, this goes in with this. So we've got all of the road and everything to put back, and then I've got to get the jazz club, which is over in that corner. That then needs to come over beside the owls, and then that. So I'll just get this box moved, and then we'll be done. So in all fairness, that's it. There's absolutely no need to carry on as we are. There's no need for you to watch me move these last couple of sets, because it's just going to get thrown, then I've got to move them again. So it's just silly, just wasting everybody's time now. So I will. Now that's drying, what I might as well do is I'll go off and edit something else, because I've got loads of stuff to do, standard, and then we'll come back, and when we do all the unboxing videos you'll see what that's like. But that's in. I'll get all of this neat and tidy at a later date. I just need this table for later on, so I can actually start doing some building and bits and pieces like that ready for some uploads, which are in a week or two's time. So I always try and have like a week or two buffer. But guys, that's it. We've done 4 parts of absolute carnage and chaos. Hopefully you've enjoyed this very, very random thing to do. Like I said, it's not going to be able to finish because I've still got to tidy all that up, but that will be done slowly, because now I want to put that other table in, so that'll be its own complete upload, because that's probably where we're going to put the holiday village. That is that. A little bit of touching up in certain places, but we're done, I think. So guys, thank you for all your help, thank you for all your support, and hopefully again you've kind of enjoyed this absolute carnage and chaos of doing everything. It is a bit of a weird and wonderful ride, just to try and get all these bits and pieces moved and done. I will figure out what we're going to do with the cars and everything like that. I'll probably just put them to where they need to go, roughly, and then we can start attacking it in different uploads. But hopefully you've enjoyed part number 4. So guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Ta-da.